Everybody's doing well. So we have our practitioner, Jidesh, come and share the deep down on integrations for us. The floor is yours, Jaido. Over to you. And thank you for joining, Ken. Thank you for joining our time. Thank you, Jide, for coming to share.
Yeah. So thanks, Mecca. Thanks, Kim, for joining. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we can. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a privilege for me to come on here today and share what I know. I'm not a like it's been, you know, giving me a lot of self-aggrandizement. I'm not an expert. I'm still learning myself, but the little I know, I'm gonna be sharing it today just so that we can, push the ministry forward, right? So this is welcome to ServiceNow integration. And I know basically all of us know what integration is all about. I mean, in the um, English sense of it, integration is basically bringing two things together and having them function as one. In most cases, it could be one hand given to another hand, just like that, or it could be both ends, sharing, love, so to say. Since we're still in the season for love, I'm just going to run through this slide so that we can have um, an overview or basically full understanding of how this works as far as ServiceNow is concerned and within the ambit of what ServiceNow has to offer. So moving forward, as we are all aware, these are just things that I pulled up. It's not my design. Um, so just to put a disclaimer out there, uh, we have numerous applications out there, which happens that ServiceNow is one of them. And ServiceNow as well, as we know, is a web application. I mean, it's a cloud-based application. So integration is basically all about, within ServiceNow, it's all about integrating numerous application, web-based, cloud-based application, and having them share data. As you can see on the screen, we have numerous applications, like for instance, Postman, BMC Remedy, Microsoft Outlook, where that can be integrated with ServiceNow, and there's a whole lot more application that can be integrated with ServiceNow. I'm going to make this conversation interactive. I'll be pausing every now and then to have participants ask questions or contribute. I will be asking questions, and I want you all to participate. Let's make it um, conversational. Feel free. There's no right or wrong answer if I throw out a question out there. But then just so that I know I'm not the only one talking, so we can just participate and enjoy this moment together. So as I was saying, ServiceNow is a cloud application um, that can be integrated with many numerous applications out there. And what is the purpose of this integration? Basically, to share data, to share, update, delete, a lot of data. How does this happen? There are requests and there are responses, right? So for instance, there are methodologies within our integration. For instance, we have SOAP method, we have REST method, and things like that. SOAP is basically to send a request and then get a response. That's what basically a SOAP method is used for. And the REST method can actually be used for a lot of things. Like for instance, you can post, you can create, you can delete, you can update. I will move forward. This is just my raw, jottings. I was just thinking and see, okay, exactly the same way this is raw, basically. It's not formatted, and I'm just going to go through it or run through it the way I actually had it in mind, so that you can all understand what this thing is all about. So these are the things that has to be done when you're talking about integration. You want to send data, check authority and response before the data is sent. So let's imagine it like this. I have ServiceNow and I have other applications like BMC. I cannot just start sharing data. There has to be some kind of authorization that has to be put in place first and then an approval has to be done. So what goes on in between that is what we call the integration process, right? And there are many interfaces that ServiceNow provides, to help facilitate this. One of them is JSON, email, JDBC, SOAP, and REST. We'll be looking at REST method today, like I said, right? And let's focus more on REST. As you can see, going by my jottings, it's more like a representational state transfer, which describes the general rules for how the data and service are presented through API. An API, as we all know, is application programming interface. REST defines a set of functions through which we can send requests and receive responses from other tools. It's from other tools or applications, they are HTTP protocols. So what are these HTTP methods that REST offers? As you can see on my screen, we have the get, which get data from the resource. We have the put, which update data at a resource. We have the post, which creates data at a resource, and delete, as you all know, and patch, basically partially update data at a resource. I'm going to run through these jottings. Bear with me. And you can read along as well. And after this slide, I will pause for a second and have people, if you have any question, just throw it at me, and then I'll be glad to give you an answer as best as I can. So what basically integration is about, like I said earlier, we create a record, we read a record, we update the record, and we delete the record. Now, if you want to have this one stored in your mind, you can use this CRUD acronym. So whenever you see this CRUD acronym, you know it's create, read, update, and delete. That's basically what integration is mostly all about. Now, examples of integration between applications, I don't know if anyone has heard about Microsoft SCCM. This is an application created to, say that again?
You mean the Microsoft, the software center, right?
Yeah, the software center, correct. So basically, what do they maintain on this with this application? If you know, you can just we have Tenable, we have Jira integration. As we all know, most of us are familiar with Jira. Most of us that does agile, that applies agile methodology at work. We use this application to update, to create stories, to do your project planning and things like that. And then we have ACM integration. ACM is what? Human capital management. So basically, this is more like an HR application, such that whenever, for instance, you are onboarded to a company that does HR, and most of them uses human capital management system. It could be Oracle. Basically, this is built by Oracle. Most of them, I know a lot of us I've heard about Talio, and that is an application that is built by Oracle. And if you happen to be onboarded to a company that does HR, you're definitely going to have to encounter something like this, because that is their system of record. So now, take for instance, you have an implementation for HR, HRSD ServiceNow. You will definitely have to pull data from ACM into ServiceNow. Now, that is a core example of what integration is all about: pulling data from a third-party application into ServiceNow, or vice versa, or ServiceNow into a third-party application. So this whole framework can be unidirectional or bidirectional. And then another example of such integration is Cornerstone On Demand with ServiceNow. Now, a lot of us who are working would understand that most of the time they send us some trainings, right, to complete our work. Now, you can build an integration such that that training that's coming from Cornerstone will, if you're using HRSD, will come onto something that we call tools within the ServiceNow interface or homepage, and it will alert you on ServiceNow that you have some training pending, or you have some training to be completed. This information is not necessarily within ServiceNow, but it's actually on Cornerstone. So once an integration is completed, and more like a schedule is run or a training is posted, it is done in such dynamic way to where it sends you personal notes, more like a personal notification, that to inform you that you have a training pending. This can also be done in ServiceNow. I was privileged to go to be at the Knowledge 2023 in last May, where I learned a lot about this, particularly this one, a lot about this one here, because in the company that I work with, this is basically what we do. Now, moving forward, right? There are some things that we need to understand whenever we're trying to do integration. There are some questions that needs to be asked while, trying to integrate application. If you're really, really interested and you want to dive into it, we should have in mind that these are the questions that I've highlighted. Is it a push or a pull? What do I mean by a push? Push meaning, like I said, if you look at these items right here, push meaning, am I pushing a record from ServiceNow into other application? I'm pushing from, for instance, Microsoft SCCM into ServiceNow. Is it just going to be a pull? Am I just pulling a record from ACCM into ServiceNow? I've been privileged to complete more like an implementation where I integrated Microsoft SCCM with ServiceNow. Now, this right here, I'm going to show you how it works. This right here is pretty much interesting. It's pretty much straightforward because one thing ServiceNow has done is to help with something that they call a spoke. I don't know if you've heard about that term, a spoke within flow design, to where they
Right.
have this spoke, and you have to just enable that spoke to be able to integrate. For instance, you are tasked with integrating Microsoft SCCM with ServiceNow. What you just need to do is go into the instance, download the spoke, all right, and then get the credentials from both ends. And if time permits, I may be able to show you right after I show you the basic integration in ServiceNow, but otherwise, possibly in our future engagement, I may be able to show that. Now, these are the questions. Going back to the question that needs to be asked: who is sending and who is receiving? Is it a one-time push, or a recurring update to a table? If recurring, at what point in time should this be done to avoid performance degradation of the system? Now, these are things that you need to consider, because whenever you're pulling data, depending on the volume of the data, right, you don't want to collapse the system. At what time of the day do you want to get this thing done? There are numerous methods to where we can actually get this done. One of which is scheduling a job, writing a code, and scheduling the job to where until, for instance, when people are not working, maybe midnight, that's when the job will run. How often do you want this job to run? Do you want to run like every 3 hours, every 6 hours, or once a day? It all depends. That's part of the question that you need to ask if you're trying to get this integration completed. I will not go through everything, but I'll just, basically rush through it so that I can do a demo quickly. We don't have time. Now, if integration fails, what should be done? Should we create an incident? Should we log a failure? And how do we do all of this? These are the questions that you can also ask, when all said and done are going good, you also need to look at how, what happens when this integration fails. Are there any data retention policies depending on the kind of work you're doing? For instance, if you're working in the HR department, or you're working with, some PII data, you have to have some kind of, policy, or abide by some kind of policies around data retention. You don't want to expose a few data to some people. You don't want some people to, see some kind of data, for instance, when it comes to social security number, when it comes to, yeah, you can expose employee number. That's okay. When it comes to pay, for instance, you can't expose some things like that. So these are the things that you need to look at. Now, what are the authorizations available for this integration? When we deep dive now, when I showed them, I'm going to show all of you what things are used. You remember I was talking about, once integration is about to happen, someone has to authorize it. Who authorizes what? There has to be some kind of an authorization method to where data can be shared between those applications. Do you need a JWT? Do you need a certificate-based authentication? Do you need do you need a certificate or to allow the credential to work? Do you need API keys? Like I said earlier, we're talking about application programming interface. Now, how do you build or structure your data? Do you want to use JSON or do you want to use GraphQL? GraphQL is an application that is just trending in the ServiceNow ecosystem for integrations. This helps you to, I'm going to show you guys, let me just dive quickly into what that is. Let me go here.
Right. Yeah, we can see your screen, but quick one, Diola, you had saying you tried to ask a question, so we can get that in. Go ahead.
Yeah, the spelling of spoke.
Oh,
The spoke.
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 Right, Spoke is
Oh,
just
spoke as a
it's
spoke.
for
Okay.
Yeah,
integration
speak
hub.
spoke. Yeah.
It's a grouping, right? So ServiceNow just uses it to track any REST calls, basically. So when you're trying to integrate, if you don't have a subscription, they use every call you have, they use it. So it's like grouping the whole thing so that you don't necessarily have to build everything from scratch. They have already made a lot of these available. So they've looked through most implementations and have seen reoccurring ones, and they made that as a best practice, an accelerator to help people get there real quickly. So there are a ton of them there. Yeah,
Can you see my screen?
yeah, we can.
Yeah,
Right.
these
Yeah.
are spokes, depending on whatever. See, there's a spoke for Docker, there's a
Mhm.
spoke for, depending on the kind of application you're looking for, because mine is a PDI, right? I'm not subscribed to anything.
They're
For
all
instance,
people,
if I want a spoke for SCCM to appear here, what I would do is I'll go to my instance and I'll go to applications, right? Something called, no,
Yeah, all
sorry,
applications or the plugins, you should
plugins.
find it. Yeah, find it.
Once I go here, let's just do one practical, it's just so that we can see how this works. Let's see it. There are previous ones that are deprecated already. So this is the one I'm talking about, Microsoft SCM Spoke for Integration Hub. And as you can see, this is paid. You have to pay for it, but I can just install it and see if I'm able to do a few things.
So it's allowed for you as a student instance. It should allow you go ahead. The only thing is some of the things will not be working full fledged. They wouldn't
Yeah,
provide
so
you everything that
exactly.
is over there. But at least you
And
go in and feel it.
and if you look at it, right? Can you look down here, service graph connector for Microsoft
Connector.
SCCM? This is the most recent one. This is the older version, Microsoft SCCM Spoke for integration. This right here is what is currently being used now, because I think in the long run, they will be deprecating Microsoft SCCM Spoke. But then I'm just going to show you guys what this is all about, or what our Spoke works. Hopefully this one can how many more hours do we have? 2 hours, right? We have 2 hours, right?
It's an hour, 30 minutes. So we just started. It's 30 minutes in. So we're making good
Okay,
progress.
so
Yeah, good.
we're making progress, right? So good. Close and reload form. This is an interesting thing. We'll get to the nitty-gritty in a little bit. This is just a showing some kind of preamble to where you guys can, let me refresh this guy and hope that that's what will show up.
Okay, so while we wait, so I'm saying I'm guessing the SCCM integration would be for asset management.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Not just for asset management, you can use it for a whole lot of things. I mean, you can
It's
use
managing your software,
whatever
software center.
whatever
So it's a managing.
SCCM offers, whatever SCCM offers, right? You can pull information from what they offer into ServiceNow and then use it for your CMDB configurations.
Okay.
Okay, so we have it now, basically, but I'm not going to go ahead and configure it because that's not basically what we're trying to do here today. But I just wanted to show you how Spoke works. Okay, now let me pull my notes. Yeah. And then, okay, I was going to show you GraphQL. So now, structuring your data, you can use GraphQL right here. This is it right here. And this is a little more complex. Even I am still learning it. So I just wanted to bring it to your awareness that when it comes to data structures, how you want your data to be received by this application you're trying to integrate, you can use GraphQL to get it done. I'll go back to my notes and then let's go here. Now we're going to do a use case. We're going to go to, as part of this class or this deep dive, we're just going to do an inbound integration where we will integrate or we will send data within ServiceNow and show how, this can be done, this can be completed. So I will go into ServiceNow. Where is it now? I hate this thing. How do you take this thing out?
You make it smaller a little bit, and then you should be able
This
to.
is one of the things I just don't like.
You just make it
It's
smaller,
smaller.
yeah. Then you make your change what you need.
Where'd it go?
It's there. It's all the way at the bottom, I believe. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The other one, I think.
Did I just close it? No.
No,
Well,
it's in.
anyways, let me just open another one here and get started.
Okay.
Let me just open another one. This one from right now. Really?
Yeah, while GJ is signing in, like he talked about for integrations, there are a couple of questions you would ask. The method, are you sending out that data? Is it a push? Are you pulling in or getting data? And really, it's HTTP transactions. It just means the regular database transactions. So whether you're creating a record, you're updating a record, you're writing or updating to that record, or you're deleting the record. Those are database transactions. In that same updates or writes to the record, is it a partial one? That's where that put and the patch come in. But yeah, it's really kind of like the kind of questions you ask, and then the person who's going to be integrating needs to have access. Service not only response. I think with the spokes you have access to the. I think they included JW token recently, but prior to that, it used to be you create your API keys and then they had the basic authentication and what. So those kind of like things. So
Okay.
that's helpful. But most of
Yeah,
that is always there.
thanks for that. So basically, what I'm just trying to do right now is to establish more like a web services protocol to where we'll get all this information and try to use that integration to update our incident table. So we have this incident table, right? Let me open up. We have this right here. Okay. And we have how many records do we have on there? 42. And if we go into one of them, so integration is all about updating fields, right? Say for instance, I want to update this field from a third-party application. I'm in SCCM and I'm sending a value in a field and I want it to reflect in ServiceNow. I want to populate short description. I want to populate, change the state. I want to basically update the description as well. Or perhaps I want to put information in work notes or additional comments. Or as you all are aware, I don't know. Hey, I think I'm just asking. I should have asked this question. How many of us are familiar with ServiceNow? All of us familiar with ServiceNow? Ready? Or we're just trying
Yeah,
to get into it?
everybody here is familiar with service now.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
the
So
work.
we all know how additional comments works, right? So additional
Yes,
comments is
yes.
basically this one. This one, when you click on this one, right? This one is customer visible. That means your customer. You're trying to talk to your customer. Or if it's like this, that means you're trying to talk with your, maybe your engineers, your colleagues at work. This one is visible to only internal. This one goes straight to the whoever that is submitted, meaning this color. All right. So let's quickly dive into it. We'll go to web services. So we're trying to update a few fields in this on this form. And then definitely we're going to be creating a new one. I will go to web services and then I will go to inbound, create new. Right? Let's name it. What's our group's name?
The product deep dive for the Pan-African
Products.
personal group.
Yeah, let's say Pan-African integration group. Integration. As you can see, this is going to be the backend name. This is the label. And then what table are we trying to update? Incidents. Push it in there. So what fields are we looking to update? We're looking at caller ID, right? We're looking at short description. We're looking at description. And then we're looking at edit comment. I'll make this one, yeah, this is 40. I'll make this one 100. Make this one 100 as well. Yeah, and then this one also, because it's gonna be a comments field. Yeah, this right here is the first step. We'll go ahead and create it. And just to basically explain what will happen here, we've created the source table, we've created the web service record, and this is the transformer table. Transformer meaning more like a staging table, right? Now, this run script, which we will not be able to go, we will not even go into it today. This is where perhaps the data that you're trying to bring in, you want to do some kind of formatting to it. You want to enhance the data. Maybe the data is coming, the date timestamp that is coming from the source system is not what it does not naturally match it. The field you're trying to map it in ServiceNow. This is where you write your code to basically clean up the data, but we're not going to be going into that today. And here, we'll just go to mapping assist. From here, right? We're trying to map it to the incident table. We're trying to map what we have in the source table to what we have in the incident table. Remember, we have a few fields. How many fields did we choose? 4 fields, right? And we'll pull, this is the fields that we talked about. I think I did comments. I'm sure, I don't know which of the comments here. We did description and short description. Okay. And then this is the incident table. So these fields that we've created, we want to map it to what field on the incident table. So we will do caller ID as well here. We'll do comments. Let me push this one to comments and workloads. And then we'll do description. And then we'll do short description.
So there is the opportunity to copy all the fields. Jide went ahead to create the fields directly. You could copy all the fields, although there's really no need for that. And then also there is the opportunity once you get to the transform map to do auto map matching fields. The system will go through, or like Jide is going ahead to do now, you could manually do it. That's not mapping access. So if you auto map, the system will go through itself, and then what it can find, it will do it automatically.
Yeah, it will do it, but sometimes, right, the system may not necessarily be able to determine what you've defined.
Right.
So you want to make sure you do this manual map. I mean, it's always advisable to go through this manual mapping sometimes, unless, of course, you have matching fields.
Mhm.
Matching fields. For instance, in this case, right? You know, if you look at it, if you look at this one, now the system will not know which one to map these comments and comments to in this case. So in this case, right, we need to make sure that we do it manually.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? Because if you do it automatically, it will just be confused. Okay, which one should I match the comment on here? Which comment should I match the comment here to the comment here? And
Sure.
we all know we only have, I think we have one comment here.
Mhm.
Where is it now? Okay, I already pushed it over here. Comment and workflows, basically, only one. So I'll go ahead and save it. And there you have it. And there we have all the source field. We have the target field. So this one goes into this one when we update. The user caller ID goes into our caller ID field on the incident table. Description goes into description field. The description, short description goes into the short description. Now, you would ask me a question, right, and say, why are we impending you for this caller ID? Because this is what? This is created by us. This is created by me. That's why it's impending you. We differentiate it from what the system is creating. Make sense? Any question before we move forward?
And I don't see any question, but hey, you're able to ask questions. Either you put it in the chat or you can pause, like Jide is asking now. Um, the only thing that I wanted to say is like while you were creating the integrations, to also show the authentication also. So that the
Oh,
when
yeah.
you before you
We're
send
gonna
it.
get there. We're gonna get there.
All right, sounds
We're
good.
gonna get there. Yeah. So here, this is done. So let's go to web services. Let me update this one.
Mm-hmm. No problem.
So let's go to,
So you need to reload it not to recognize the transaction. Yes.
yeah.
That's it right there.
You can see this is the web services that we've just created right now. And I will go in there. All right. Now this is the web services. This is the WSDL URL. When you talk about endpoint, if you know about integration, if you've heard about it, there's always the call for application URL endpoint. Now, without this endpoint, there's no way you can use. There's no way there will be an establishment of communication between those two applications. Any question? And as you can see, these are the fields that we've identified. These are the backend names, and these are the attributes we've assigned to those fields. And this is the transform map right here. Now, if we do want to test and see how this works, you can go to REST, explore REST API. Now on this, you see right here, this is post. As you can see, we're doing a post method. And now this is the staging table, such that when we push in value, it goes straight, the table is created, it goes straight into this table first, and then gets transformed into the incident table. Now, what is the request format? Application just /JSON, and then response format also application /JSON. Now, if we do want to test, we can go ahead and create that JSON format and send data. Let me add a field, starting field here. What fields are we using here?
Yeah, the caller ID. So caller.
Yeah, caller ID. So I'll go here and say caller.
Then short description.
And then add short description.
Then
Description.
And then additional comments or whatnot.
And comments. It's this one I used. No, not this one. It's this one. And then we can say caller ID is, oh, let's say, short description. Testing is description. We are going to make it. And then comments. You know what?
And the integrations, yeah. But bear in mind the caller ID needs to exist also because it would not.
Yeah, it's gonna insert it. It's gonna insert it. It doesn't matter whether it exists or not. It's gonna insert it. And
Oh.
this is the format right here. Okay. So what do we do now? We just go ahead and send it.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. The 201 record is created, right?
Right. Successful, yeah.
And this is what we have as the response body. Import set that is created. It's gone into the staging table. And we have the transformer as an African integration. Table we're targeting is incident. Display name is number. We have the incident number created via this integration. And this is the record name, what is inserted. So let's go ahead and check this incident and see what it actually sent. Duplicate this table. Go to incidents. So all right here. See? We have an incident created. So we have duration being the color. Then we have testing is good. Description, we're gonna make it. And then additional description, additional comment. I think I have that something to additional comment. Where is it? Where'd it go? Or maybe I mapped that wrong. So we have that, as you can see right here. So you didn't take the additional comment. I think I mapped it wrongly. That's okay. So you can go here and make it. So I think it's this one then. If that's the case. Right, send.
Yeah, but it's still empty. You still need to put in value.
Is it? Oh yeah, this is empty, right?
So you can copy what you
Make it again and again and again and again. Send it. So we have incident number 5. So let's go ahead and check. Incident number 5. Why is it not showing? Yeah. So anyways.
Ken, you have a question for us? Judy, 1 second. So Ken has a question about it.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, when you do this and you want to like update an incident table for like 5-10 customers, does it reflect to all the 10 customers when you follow this process?
Yes. Multiple updates. You can do multiple updates as well. What you just need to do is.
Can you just show us briefly?
Oh, sure. You can update multiple users there. It shows you that's a different call, but it's in there too. That's part of what you
multiple users. You can update. So you just need to send this right here, right? And have this one repeated. Basically, multiple users. What are you? Just change these names. That's it. Okay. For instance, caller ID. You can list your caller IDs here. Just add caller ID. And see. think it took only the last, hold on a second.
Right, the call is for one. Remember, you're creating just one record.
Yeah.
That's what it would do. So, but ideally, there would be a request to create multiple. There would be part of the post. It would be update multiple, create multiple. There must be, the URL and all that to point to several records. Like when you're trying to update, yes. Like now you're only creating one, but it gives you the capability as part of the body. Like if you're trying to get where you get multiple, maybe about 10, 50, depending on how many. So in that way, as part of the URL, you're able to create several. Because right now it's just posting for one. It's expecting one, the argument and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, thanks. Yeah.
That's
So you can create multiple of these basically, like repeat, like I'm gonna show you using, let's go ahead and use Postman this time.
Yeah, Postman is available to help to test your connections. ServiceNow gives you REST Explorer for you to build it. Every table within ServiceNow has a has a connection to for REST Explorer, so that you can go and start to create the endpoints and the data you really need to the data schema and structure. But you can always test it if you don't have the the endpoint to the other system. You can always test it. Let it not be that you're only testing it from ServiceNow, because ServiceNow will connect ServiceNow. Like if you want to test authentication and stuff, you can use Postman. Postman is there available to you for you to build, test your API, go create your your environment, and then just your workspace, and just start to create stuff and test it.
What's my workspace is my workspace.
That's all.
So here we can, like we have defined earlier, right? This is our endpoint, right? This is what will, for instance, help us, get into ServiceNow. And let's go back to Postman. Remember, we're doing a post method. Let me copy that one. So here, so these are the authentications that we basically have, right? So depending on what your company provides, I've been in a project where we have certificate-based authentication. How do you navigate that? You need to do your digging, for instance, and make sure that you have the right authentication that needs to be done. For instance, in my own case, I had to use the JotBR token. Some people use basic authentication. This is not allowed. We're going to be using basic authentication. Why? Because we're just doing more like a simple integration here. Some people use this BR token where whenever you need to authenticate a record, the originating application will request a BR token, and the designating application will send that BR token, and then the originating application will confirm the BR token and then approve and send the data. The same thing with JOT. So JOT is more like this is JavaScript web token. This basically is used for certificate-based authentication, so that once you send that JOT, once you initiate the JOT, it creates a token as well. It sends it and matches it with the certificate that has been provided by the third-party application, and then send it back to your application to confirm if the token matches. And then we have OAuth 1, OAuth 2. In most cases, we use OAuth 2.0. And then, of course, we have API keys. Those are the ones that we use all the time. I mean, most of the time. But in most cases, you'll encounter using OAuth 2 in most cases. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nemeka. So
Oh no, you're right. You're right.
In my own case, I use my job bearer token. Okay, so in this case now, we're just trying to initiate this call and use a bearer basic auth, which we will have to provide a username and a password.
Right.
Now, understand that this is not the end of integration. We're just trying to do a little deep dive into it. There are multiple ways to actually complete this within the ServiceNow space itself. So this one creates a params. We have authorization. We have the headers. On the headers, right, you have to apply what we call the content type, and that is going to be application slash JSON. Okay. And in the body, let's use raw. And we're going to do what? We're going to pull this. Where is it now? Is that what was?
No, that's not. You go to the message. I thought you had it open. The REST Explorer is the next one.
Let me just do it again here.
Okay.
This one, yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't like this. I don't like this thing that always comes up there.
You make it smaller, and then you can go through. It's the same way. When you make it smaller, you don't see the fields you need.
Yeah.
Just you copy the JSON and go.
Yeah, just copy the JSON just right here. And we can
It's-
do modification. We can say
as you need.
this is John. John. Wait, let me try one thing. Just so do it again. Yes.
Oh, okay, to see how many shares in
Very
so
well.
multiple. Okay.
Yeah.
From the third party issued.
Mhm.
Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see how many the produce. I know you people don't like the name, but let's manage it, okay?
I see. They like it.
You know. All right. So what else do we need to check? Headers is good. Authorization is good. Oh yeah, we need to put the
Username or
credential here.
password. Mhm.
So my username will be, let me find it.
Mhm.
Connect to instance password. I'll put this one right there.
Mhm. So the person who's authenticating must have access to web services on the table and must have the read, write, update power on that particular table, especially if you're using any part of authentication method. So one thing is to connect. The connection will work, but you must
Right.
have the access to update if not, it would not go.
It will not go. Yes, that is correct. Something is missing here. What did we do? Why is it not showing? What's missing here?
You know, you change it, the variable thing, you change it so it was missing that string value, I believe. That was why. You know,
Which
when
variable do you think I changed?
it's not the first one, description.
This is fine. This is fine. I don't know why this is changing, but anyway, let me send it like that and see what happens. Remember, this is also our endpoint. We're sending value to ServiceNow. We provided the authorization, which is basic auth. We provided the username and admin. In most cases, you'll have to create a user for this. It's
Account,
not going to be admin. You have to create a user for this integration and name it all Pan-African user integration, and then you provide a few a role to it. That's
Mhm.
web services role, basically, just so that you'll be able to access this information. Okay, so let's go ahead and send and see what happens. Whether we're gonna get something back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we can prettify it. It did send that.
Right.
Mhm. Content type and accept. You're supposed to have accept the same application JSON.
Not necessarily. Let me take this out. That's what happens.
Because for Wisdom, helpful, Wisdom gives you all the access to the fields and the what's it called, the temporary staging table staging area. But you know, coming in here, you should be able to use just so go to like insert, for example, and then pull the table. Mhm.
Let me take
Okay.
this one out.
All right. Can you have a question?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
For a beginner not to be progressing in error, the way he was able to identify that there's an error in this JSON, how can we easily identify that? Actually, it's tiny from my side. I can't see it very clearly. But how can you identify an error easily?
So the system will highlight it. It will put like what's it called, like a red markings. A lot of times they would have that. I think it was in part of the body. Yeah, it will have like a marking to show that there's something missing. Like if you paste the second one, you would see it will give you a pointer to let you know, hey, there is either a formatting error. So maybe a lot of times it could be you're missing your quotes or you're missing your semicolons or your commas. You know, for the programming, a lot of times it would say that.
Something is wrong here. Hold on a second. Take this one. Is the pretty bar. So like Ken, like you said, right? In most cases, you will see some kind of annotation here to point you to a line of code that has some kind of error. And most importantly, right? Whenever you send a message like that, when you get a 201 created message like we did here, if you remember, like we did when we're doing this REST Explorer, for instance, yeah, you will likely see more like a 401, maybe username and password issue, or it could be more like a network connection issue. So there are numerous ways you can get feedback and understand what is wrong with your something is definitely going on here. You call out ID John. Destiny is good. Description system import. Let me do this one. Wait. Use new display. All right, let's. Okay. More stuff here. Over here. Drive.
And a lot of times, although that's because it's coming from within ServiceNow, with the wisdom, a lot of times it's required for SOAP integrations. They use it too for REST, but especially within the ServiceNow tool for, trying to get to the staging tables, but you still need to create your, go to the table and then use REST Explorer and then pull it, and then you can point there to that particular
No,
integration you need.
no, normally it should work. I don't know what's going on with this. This is the staging table, right? So the last
How
one I
many?
was just saying now is not. No, no, no. This one, these were the ones we did earlier.
Oh, for the ones, okay.
Yeah. The last one, wasn't this one that we're doing with this post integration isn't
Postman.
working. For
Okay.
some reason, I don't know. Basic course, right?
Mhm.
Password.
Is there a space there? Because it should be fine. Should be fine.
This is fine. Headers, content type, applications like JSON, okay, body. All right, this right here. Okay.
Yeah, and it's a post method. Everything is good. We're ready to go.
Let's see. Yeah, status is good. It's 200. Okay, right? You see right here?
Yeah, it is. It's fine. That's what I mean. But it's what are we returning now? What are we returning back? We're returning the whole thing.
Yeah, it should have created an incident at least, and then impute all those values in the place. Let me check the table. History, select. Yeah, this is the last one that we did. So it's nothing is coming from now. Let me see future, right? Okay. Now, in most cases, right, something that worked earlier is not working, but then it's giving us 200. So these are the issues, right? You will have to be patient enough to look into what's causing it and find a way to resolve it. I got this one. I got this. Okay. But what else? What's going on here?
So put accepts application JSON there. Just put that there. Remember, if you go there, accepts application JSON, it should prettify that thing you have. No, it's part of the the header thing. You probably no. Yeah,
Header.
yeah. Yeah, you can go there. Content type accepts application JSON. Yeah, accepts. You have it there already. Accepts. You already have content type. Accepts. So that way it prettifies it, because you need to have it pretty. Accepts. It's there already. Application JSON too, because it's also part of what you have. We should have the application JSON, and then try and send it again. Should try to clean up that body, because it's already going through. It's just not what we are not getting the same outcome. Or the right
That's
outcome.
that's the more reason we have this body, right? And then we have JSON here. See?
Mhm.
We have this raw body. So I don't know why it's going through. Why is it not
No, it is.
pulling
It is.
data?
It's getting the data. Yeah.
Sir.
It's telling you all the methods there. It's giving you everything. And it's showing you the literal what you can do, all the things you can do in there. It's giving you the delete. It's calling the API. It's now showing you all the methods on there, on that table that you can do. You can delete, you can update multiple. It's showing you everything you need or you can do on that table, because you're calling it there directly. Yeah, that's show you everything. Now if I show you everything, the fields, show you the bundle, everything that's on there.
It's hard.
But that's integration for you. Integration engineer, you have to be patient. You have to take a look. Sometimes, like you see, when you use the REST Explorer, it was working everything within ServiceNow. Everything was good to go. But now coming from the third party, you see everything is a little different. So just a little different, just so. So, Jide, what we can do is this. We can do a new one. Go to the incident. We can do a new one. Go to the incident, create it, and then use the required post, or you use the required patch, depending on whatever it is for the URL. And then you should have access, because like if you're trying to get the data, you can do the get and then try to pull that too. Let's use that and show too. But yeah, everything looks clean and ready to go. There's no real.
I'm kind of just wondering why this thing is good text and see.
Can go. And then it's saying there's an issue, I think. All right, so predefined, let's see. Well, it's still coming out so in there. That's why it's showing that, but that's wisdom. You're pulling the wisdom, and all you're seeing, all of these you're showing is wisdom. The whole thing you're showing, and that's why you have it. You're going to the wisdom, which is why you see all of that. That web service description. You're going through, see all the wisdom. That's all the fields, everything you can do. Now you have to, it's not within ServiceNow where it knows that it goes to the staging and done. Now you have to send it. You have to, clean up that and then put that and send it again.
Hold on a second. Something is not right. Let me go back.
So, okay. So remember that's it. Okay.
Yeah, this should be it.
This will work now. Put your staging table name there.
This should be it. Just no, let's leave it like that.
Okay.
Where is my so I shouldn't be going to here.
Okay. But that's what you're pulling there now. Remember, so let's go to the one you sent already. If we pull because as part of the body, you see where go down to the one you have sent. Yeah, no, on there,
I was sending the wisdom.
Right,
So,
that's what I say.
For instance,
okay.
Let's do this and see what happens. There you go. Valid staging table.
Right. The table name, you don't have it now. Your staging table, you need to put that there. Remember, that's where you have that thing there, staging table name. You need it. So where is that? That's it. You take that in there and put. All right. So go in there and then it should be fine. Yes. You put that there. That's it. You can take away your curly braces. It should be okay.
There you go.
That's it. That's it. That's it. It should be fine. That's all I need. So if you refresh here, it should have it there.
There you go. Coming back now. Okay. We've got to be patient looking at it, and that is what we go through all the time.
Oh yeah.
You'll have to you do one thing just right now, and it will work, and then next it won't work. Let's see, this one will work. Let's do it. Did it create another one? Did it create two? Four, six.
Then refresh it and see. It should
No, it's only creating one.
right, because it's just one method. It's not
Creating one.
update. The URL doesn't have
Yeah.
update multiple on it. So, but ServiceNow provides the REST Explorer for you to explore every table on the system. So if you go to the table, if you look at the bottom, if you configure that table, you would see the opportunity to go do REST Explorer on it. And then that will allow you create your APIs. And then you would try to use that. And then go through the whole integration to see you can test it from the REST Explorer, and then you can use any the endpoint and the credentials, authentication, and then the variables that you're needing to, and then the different content types and headers and stuff, and then you should be able to go, test it out in Postman. Postman is there available to you to use to go and break it, take a look, see how it goes, and then do your hunting, really, do your hunting.
All right. I see we've passed the time. Any other question? I mean, if you do have questions, I can post a resource. If you want to learn more, I can post a resource for you, just so you can have more understanding of how this thing works. Now,
If possible, we get the Jordan.
huh?
Come again, go go ahead, Daniela.
Instructions. Sorry.
Oh, you mean, yeah, you mean if he gets you want to get his jottings, you have it as part of the recording, you should be able to, but if GJ is kind enough to share it, that's fine too. But you should.
Yes.
I can
If I
share
have
it.
to-
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm posting a link to the group,
Okay.
so we can all. I think the link is even better for you to outside my jottings. Well, I'll have the jottings too. You can just provide me your email. I'll just send it to you right now.
Mhm.
This is perfect.
But this you did create. Can you do an update for them so that we know? Yeah, learning integration. Jide has sent it. Thank you so much, Jide. Can you do this is a post which is create. Can you do updates so that they see that too? And then in that update, it gives you, the updates. You should see the put. It should give you the opportunity.
Yeah, patching.
Yeah.
So I can
With the
just
patch,
do
you can use
testing is
that,
good
yeah.
too. Okay.
Mm.
Short description.
So tell us. Yeah,
Why
the
is
method,
it
you
so
have not
hard?
created it yet. You have not created it yet. That's the thing about it. You need to go there and then make the change on the API.
Yeah, exactly. I need to go back here.
And change it
What
to the
is it now?
method. You go to your the next one. So change it to the update one, whatever.
I have to change
Insert
that
multiple
to
posts.
insert this one right here.
You need to do that. And then that way to allow you. Now you have multiple that you can put. So that post, that create one that you were trying to do with several, now it should, this URL will allow you to do it.
So I have to create all of these too, the same way we did for the one we did earlier. In this case, it's gonna be
Yeah, that one, once you're done at the end there to create it for you, you just pick it as you need.
Let's say we had color.
Color ID, contact, I believe. Color ID, short description.
Description.
Just the description. You can do that for several now. It should allow you.
Yeah, let's just do this one for a little bit.
Yeah, then do the color ID again. You can do as many now because you are inserting multiple basically. So you should do as many as you need. Color ID. Short description. All right, that too should be okay. Should just go test at least the multiple.
Just see what happens.
Should provide us the two of them. Should.
It's gonna be 400 by
It says
there.
400, but so what did it say? The error was
So-
what? The error at the bottom. Did it give us the error information? It says invalid JSON object.
But JSON object. There's no
Something wrong.
array with name records. This right here is what is giving us that error. For instance,
The JSON has. Did you put this? Was there a JSON on there? And the JDA is there. Okay. JSON is there. Okay. So where is the error one?
no, so here, right? If we go back to web services, we need to identify what we're trying to do, right? And applicant.
Okay. We have the color ID, comments, description, short description.
Well, you remember this is basically for posts, right? So for instance, I think you have to create
Right, but you're
for...
posting already. But remember, the only thing is that's also a post to create new ones. But if you're trying to update the very one, it's supposed to talk about needing the sys ID for the records to be updated.
Yep.
As part of the query, yeah. But this one was supposed to allow you, update several records. So creating several records, that's what that one post was saying, post multiple. So it should have allowed you just to look at the JSON, what it was complaining about.
Let's see, I'll check something.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. No.
Yeah. This is where you have to create a new one. Remember, the previous one you used the inbound, so that was why you were not able to create the several methods that were available there. So here, what I was saying is that if you're looking at the post, you have the second one says multiple records in there, so it should allow you create multiple. That one that you were trying to paste, it should have allowed
Yeah,
you.
this one should allow me create multiple records from the same request. So basically, I still need to put in the what's it called here?
That your staging table. But what I'm saying is,
table there.
Here you're not, that URL is primarily zone only when you copy it from the bottom. So that's what I'm saying. If you go down, what was the error we are getting? So it was giving us one error. So bad request. It now says invalid JSON object. So if you go back up, what's the JSON there that you have? So if we take a look, what are the information you have? You had ID, I believe you had something else. What did you have there? You had caller ID and body. You had hope, okay, short description, and then caller ID again, and then this thing. So you should have had the and then kindness. So they should have been put like that. So caller ID, short description. It was changing. It was only having one. You know what I mean? So you might have to put them, like that. So if you delete that one, it needs to recognize, or you do that for the two. So if you've put those two now, right?
Yeah, it's not gonna work like this.
No, not even like that. So you don't get what I mean. So copy one. So put one there. All right. Take away the whatever you have. All right, that's fine. So now copy it there, what you have. Copy what you have at the bottom. Okay. All right, then go to raw, copy that, then go to raw, and then paste it, and then paste both of them there. You can do it as many times. No, on that one still, on that part still, on the rest. So go change to raw, and then paste it in there. Go to raw, paste it there, the JSON, and then you put it twice, and then modify as you need, because it's just supposed to help you. You get what I mean?
Oh, you mean this one right here?
Yeah, you can now paste it as many. So paste that, boom, paste another one, something like that. So you can modify it as you need. So change what you wanted to change, as many, and see what it says. You can, always, put what you want to happen, wherever, up to 3, something like that. And then send it. It should be fine. You can change whatever and then send it, see what it says. It should be fine. Yeah, created 200. Okay, that's it.
Then only one is created still.
It's still
Only
only one.
Yeah, only one is created. It's still, I think it's still referring to
the same road. Okay.
but this one is still like, let's do this. But then everything changes the moment you go over here. See what I'm saying? Everything changes the moment you go over to, for instance, you want to insert multiple, right?
Mhm.
And then we have you Pan-African add query parameter. Add
Yeah, but every time you create a new one, it should change. So it's like you're doing it afresh, so that you get a new URL for it, and then the body as you want. You build it and go. But it just means that something is wrong, and maybe if it's having it go to the staging, but it should allow you automatically.
It's not even going to the stage. Let me see.
It should allow you automatically. Should allow you automatically see. So we can go to that staging one and see, what information is there. But another thing you can do, you can pretty quickly using the REST message. You did inbound. So if you're doing inbound, that's what you get. So it's coming there once. Well, that's it there. Hope 2. I mean, hope 3.
Only one.
Oh, hope 1. Okay, it's only
coming.
recognizing one. It's only recognizing one. Oh, so build if we can do really quickly so that you can show the different on the REST message one, which is when you're sending it out, because the inbound gives you the opportunity to create the what's it called, the staging table when you're your transform map. But if you're doing the outbound one, which is you go to REST message, it should allow you create both the get and push and put. So you can.
Yeah, that one would help you
really quickly.
You can do that.
Let's
see.
That's it. Yeah, and then it allows you to create a new one really quickly. And then you just put any name, the endpoint you can copy that, that endpoint.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do with this endpoint, right? Because
that's
you're within the same instance, right? You're within the same instance. So if we had a third party now, for instance, I can do this. Hold on a second. If, for instance, we have a Jira application and we want to post into Jira, so that URL is what we're going to have to use here. Here, this endpoint. And then we can go here. Say, for instance, this is www.yahoo.com/whatever table that is going to be there. You understand my point?
Right.
We're trying to push into, and then you can submit it. And this one here, this is where you can actually create new.
Give me 1 second. I wanted to log into my instance while you're doing that and give you the URL. Or you can do this thing. That's Catfax. something that doesn't need authentication. So that way you can just connect to it really fast too.
Or give me your instance URL, identify the table, and then we can update it from there.
Yeah, I want to just post my incident. I'll just do incident and then do post one or do an update. So just open incident table and then. Just a minute.
So please, guys, please share your email address with the maker so that I can send your, share the email address with me, and I'll send my jottings to everyone. And I think we will need to wrap up this session right now because I have another appointment.
Right. Yeah.
We can schedule another session, and then we'll continue to deep dive into it, and get everybody acclimatized with what they want to actually get into. This is what we do all the time. You encounter issues, you find a way to resolve it, right?
Yeah, that's the whole idea. That's integrations for you. Integrations is really, that connection, you're able to build the different HTTP methods, whether it's the get, the post. Okay, Adela has put her email in the chat. So Ken's email too is in the chat. I'll get those added
I
to.
will.
And then Adela.
So
And then Ken and Adela. That way we can get it. But thank you so much. Really appreciate the whole idea is integrations. We try to, integration is broad. There are different integration capabilities, especially within ServiceNow. So just knowing it, there's a lot of integration resource. I think Jide also shared one of the available integration learning parts that is out there. Also, I think Chuck Tomasi has integration videos also that they're available in the community also to help.
that's exactly what I've just shared. It's from Chuck Tomasi.
Okay.
So,
okay, learning integrations. Yeah. So he does have that one too. So hey, it's a huge stuff. And then he included that GraphQL one. I've not even had time because I'm not doing
that GraphQL. I mean, at the what is it called last year?
Knowledge. Yeah, knowledge.
Last year, I was in this class for that GraphQL. Man,
thing.
it's really complex, but then little by little you can understand it.
Yeah, it is. Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Right,
Dan, for
thanks
sharing.
everyone.
Appreciate it. To see next month we should have what's it called? We should have automated testing ATF, so that you see how that one works, and then I'll come and take a look again at this integration so that you see the whole thing too. Have a good one now. Bye bye.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.